5'9" with the real red eyes, and we dying inside. Oh, bodies in fluoride.
What is good, y'all? This is JV here, and I'm back with another album review. Really excited about this one. Today we're doing Dean's 130 Mood Trouble, or TRBL. Don't know how to pronounce that part. Really been waiting for this record for a long time, since about like summer of last year. I believe last year, he did some work with Eric Bellinger that really, got him on my kind of radar, and then he followed up with a slew of other singles and features that really has made him a real powerful figure in the Korean R&B genre. A little background on him, he calls himself like a future kind of alternative R&B singer. He's part of like I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Jumba's music company or something like that, and he's done a number of writing credits on multiple big major releases, notably Justin Bieber, EXO, VIX. He's done a lot of big writing, so this guy is not necessarily new to the game, but this is finally him putting forward his original content, and really excited about this. Before we get into the songs for this EP, he's done some work with Anderson .Paak as well, and I believe he's done some stuff with Mila J too, if I'm not mistaken. So man, Dean, he's really killing it right now. He was on Junggigo's 247 song 2 as a feature. He was on Dynamic Duo's album more recently, and also he's on Palo Alto's newest single. So Dean is absolutely killing right now. I'm a huge fan of his work, and I've always really loved Korean R&B, and he's fastly becoming one of my favorite artists in the game. So to start off, I gotta say, really love this project. I do have some gripes and complaints with it, so I'll cover that on the latter half of this video, but usually how I do it, go track by track, let you guys know my overall thoughts on each track, and then I basically give you guys the overall view of the album. Gotta say, he opens up with the song called Outro, even though it's the first song on there. Really interesting beginning. He's got some weird, old vinyl sounding piano on there. He's got some old movie sounding, samples there. We got like a police phone call going on, and then finally we get into the song. We get some boom and bass, man. This is really, flowy, vibe-based song. Really nice intro to this piece, and it's a very Dean-esque kind of sound. It has some very, modern style production to it, with some real, comfortable, warm vocals on it. Nothing particularly too ambitious on this particular track, but a really solid track and a great way to begin it. And I'm glad that it's only about 2 minutes in length, so it really gets the vibe set, but isn't necessarily a huge standalone single per se. And that brings us into Pour Up, featuring Zico, among the tracks that we've heard before. Again, out of the 7 tracks that this album is composed of, 5 of which we've already heard. So I mean, there's only so much I can talk about new bringing to the game for this one, but I'll give you guys my thoughts. Pour Up, love this track, and hearing it in the context of the album actually made me like it even more. This is a very sensual delivery. I really love the drums on this particular song, and Zico on the second half, man, brings a fantastic verse. Now, I'm a big fan of Zico, however, his verse game has not always necessarily been my favorite, just because Zico has a very defined style, and he doesn't always necessarily adjust to the people he's featured with. That chemistry is not always there, but I feel like Dean and Zico have a really natural chemistry that I thought was absolutely fantastic on this track. So definitely one of the standout singles. Brings me to the third track, Bonnie and Clyde. By far one of my favorite tracks on the album as a whole. Probably my second favorite behind I Love It. We'll get there though. Bonnie and Clyde, very interesting from a lyrical perspective, a production standpoint, and a vocal standpoint. Let's start off production wise. Definitely having that trap influence, definitely one of the most hip-hop songs on the entire album. It kind of strays away from the contemporary R&B kind of route and goes more into like trap style production. His delivery is punchy, it's a little bit quicker, and lyrically, this is an intense piece, man. He's talking to I'm assuming a romantic interest of his, or some kind of sexual affair that went down between him and a female, and he's basically saying, yeah, we're just friends, okay, yeah, whatever. Basically, on the line of that I want you, you know, you want me, so you could say, you know, what you gotta say to justify it in your head. It's some real interesting stuff lyrically there, and I'm really glad that I got the chance to check out the lyrics of that, because from a singing standpoint, you wouldn't necessarily get that kind of, I wouldn't say explicit, but overt delivery on it. So real big fan of this track. I like just that, you know, straight up, you know, facing sexuality head on. I really appreciate that song, and it's an absolute banger. And the Bonnie and Clyde reference, you know, back to what they kind of stood for and that kind of rebellious love attitude, really thought that was really dope. Next we got What to Do. We got Crush and Jeff Burnett, again another song that we've heard, little up tempo, you know, R&B piece, you know, got some little soulful influence. Definitely the vocal powerhouse song of the album. You know, we got three guys with amazing voices: Dean, Crush, and Jeff Burnett. And Jeff Burnett wasn't somebody I was super familiar with. I think I had seen some of his stuff on YouTube previous to that, but obviously Crush, huge fan of him, and Dean. So when I heard Dean and Crush were gonna be on a song together, I thought I was ecstatic about it, and I wasn't let down, man. This is an absolutely fantastic song. Again, not the most powerful song per se in the album, but it does, right, you know, sit in the middle of the EP and kind of gives you a nice breather where you can really have some nice vibes. It's a very open song. It's a very warm song. Next we have D, Half Moon with Gecko. This one's, you know, a smooth, soulful track. Gecko on the second half with an amazing verse, man. This is definitely one of the latter songs that he released before the EP was released, and really enjoy this track, man. Definitely enjoy it more in the context of the music video itself. In the context of the album, it fits, but it's not one of my favorite moments per se. I really like this song kind of as like a standalone piece with the visual behind it, me personally, but a great song. Then we have I Love It featuring Doki, my favorite song on the album for sure. It's not I've had it in regular rotation since it's dropped. Really hard booming bass, you know. This is one of the body roll anthems, if you will. You know, lots of club and radio potential in this kind of track, and Doki, you know, kills his verse. Doki's always had a very strong verse game. Big fan of Doki. So really loved their chemistry together. I think they put together a really solid track, and I like that it's on the latter half of the album to really bring that energy up for the smash that is 21. Thought that was a really interesting track, not a direction I thought the album was going to take by any means. This one definitely has some UK deep house kind of influences. I hear some you know, some future bass kind of going on there. Really enjoy this track, man. It has a moving, sharp tempo, some real crisp production. I gotta compliment Dean on his beat selection on this EP. Everything's very refined, clean. The bass is very, you know, warm, sensual, almost liquidy, as weird as that sounds. But really enjoyed this project, man. 7 tracks in total. Now, for my complaint, the only complaint is, you know, we get this new EP from Dean after all this time, and we're only actually getting 2 new songs. It's pretty much a compilation at this point, and I was just hoping for a little bit new material, but it is nice to have all his music that he's dropped up to this far in one, you know, clean project, and then we can move forward from this point and get new music. But you know, I just wish there was a little bit more original content on this EP. But I gotta say, you know, he brought together a really fire project. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with in the Korean R&B game, and I would highly suggest you check this out if you're a fan of, you know, even a K-hip hop fan. You know, there's some dope features on here, man. We have Gecko, we have Doki, and Zico. So we got some really dope features on this, and to me, this is definitely a statement to the current state of you know, Korean R&B. It's a very current sounding album. Curious as to what your thoughts on this album was. So in the comment section below, let me know what you think about Dean, what you think about this album. What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? Let me know what's up. Till next time, this is JV. I love you guys. Bye.